So today we're talking about callbacks. In comedy, a callback is a joke that refers to something that was mentioned earlier in the set. But we're talking about using callbacks as a great way to spread the load of inbound calls. As you'll know, working in the contact center, the hardest inbound peak to deal with is when you have a lot of calls arriving fast. I mean, automating as many as possible, of course, is crucial. But today we're looking at all those calls that do need an agent. My colleague Manuel is here to show us briefly how that can work in a dynamic way.
Okay, Pierce, so I have to present in a dynamic way, or are you talking about the callbacks to be presented in a dynamic way?
Oh, Manuel, just get on with it.
Okay, yeah, just kidding. And yes, you mentioned the callback in the comedy, and believe me, I saw a lot of ways callbacks were offered, and they were definitely under comedy. But let's quickly directly jump into what I've prepared here. This is a part of our callback. Let me quickly zoom in a bit, where you directly can check to set a callback. Everything is handled before, and then you quickly fill in your necessary informations, like which should be the queue, the callbacks be routed in, display number, from number. But the power really comes then, and this is why I want to also give you some advice on why don't open up a new silo. You see the session data is here, so with our possibilities giving to callback, you can add every necessary information to that callback task. For example, give the ticket ID directly with it to push the right ticket to the agent when the callback gets fired. And all those things you can directly store on that task. And this is the only way you can achieve then not adding up a new silo where the agent has his callbacks in a totally different system or anything like that. And then also a big point here, this one here is a quite static way. The now, this is basically a virtual queue. You just move the load within your daily business. But the real power then comes along as soon you have your workforce management with a forecast or anything like that attached to this logic, and take a look before you offer the callback and say, look, this is the intent, this is the customer, what's the best time to give him a callback? And then it gets really powerful to really reduce the load and make calls as efficient as possible.
Hey, Manuel, that was a very dynamic presentation. You see what I did there now, folks? That was the other kind of callback. Okay, so using callbacks impacts the bottom line of your business in dramatic ways. So peaks are reduced, so you need less agents. At the same time, your customers are happier because of reduced wait times. Your agents are better utilized in the off-peak hours, which gives you more output without higher costs. And you have a basis to allow prioritization of calls that impact your revenue. So retention, sales, upselling, onboarding, and VIP care, right? If you take all of that together, then you actually have a pretty dramatic business case for doing callbacks, as well as a way to deal with the deluge of calls during a peak. All right, great. Thanks, Manuel, for joining us to show us that. It was very dynamic, as I said.